I just want to understand, how tough has this journey been? Finally, you're going to the United States.
This basketball journey has not been easy, especially I started trying to play in US. I started applying to play in US in 2022 and didn't go through. Tried again in 2023, didn't go through. Tried again this year for the first time, didn't go through. And finally it's here. I'm just happy.
Basketball fans, welcome back. So Madina Okot, she is in the United States. She got her visa after being denied 4 times. And currently, as we speak, she is the newest member of the Mississippi State University women's basketball team. And it's a big opportunity for her. Must say, I am very, very happy for that situation, because she was clearly not getting anywhere with the Kenyan teams, and this opportunity that she's been able to get to play for university and abroad, especially in the US, she'll be able to increase her basketball skills and also just be an all-round basketball player.
Kwa majina naitwa Madina Okot. Nimeanza basketball 2020. I can say I tried my best, though it was hard, and I was from 3. Nilianza na 5-on-5. So in 5-on-5, I'm a power forward, but 3-on-3, mtu anacheza position yoyote, so I can get the ball, I can post, I can shoot.
So tell me, what was it like to play inside the paint with the Senegalese girls?
I can say it was hard, but I tried my best.
I think I can say I was afraid by the time the game started, but I started getting momentum when the game was on, and that's when I got in the game and I did whatever I did.
But in this video, we'll be looking at 3 tournaments that she's played. So I'll be looking at her performance in the AWBL, which happened last year. We'll also look at what she did for the Kenya Women's National Team in 2023, and also in the Africa Women's Cup in 2022. So the AWBL happened last year, the tail end of last year, and in this video we'll be looking at that. So what the media won't tell you about Madina Okot is her performances and what she's been able to put up when she plays, whenever she suits up for ZTech, whenever she suits up for KPA, whenever she suits up for the national teams, both the 5x5 and 3x3 level, and what they conveniently omit. And this video will be addressing that. So
you had 2 really good blocks in the 3rd quarter. What does it feel like to block them like that?
I'm very happy about the blocks because compared to the first quarter, I always thought that when I go to block, I'll fall. But at the 2nd quarter, I had courage and I went on and did whatever I did.
Pardon?
What did you find difficult about being inside the paint?
I think all the games that I've played compared to today's games, today was a bit harder, and it has taught me something where I'm supposed to work on my boxing out areas. I need to be stable and also strong. Yeah.
Madina Okot, she came into the limelight and the radar when she played in the 2022 Commonwealth Games. So Team Kenya did not have a good performance there, but still, you could see some flashes of brilliance she had on her side. But looking at that small sample size at the time, you wouldn't have thought that she will be able to get the most opportunities out of any other player that has played for women's in the women's division, in the women's national team. Because in every single tournament, 3x3, 5x5, she's been there and she's played in Zone 5. Every single tournament last year. And last year, remember, in this channel, we covered a lot of 3x3 basketball. And and her name kept coming up because she was being called up a lot of times. And also in the KPA Dockers team, she was called up to play in Zone 5 and also in the AWBL. And we will get to that.
For me, I think I can say we had no courage, but the other team had courage. That's why we lost. And all that.
What have you learned from the competition?
From the competition, I've really learned that for you to play basketball, you really have to be, you really have to be tough mentally and courage. Yeah. I'm very excited about the win. We've really waited for it, but finally it has arrived, and very happy for it.
And tell us about your part, especially inside the key.
Today, I think I did a great job on the blocks, because I think it's because of height advantage. Because the opponents were short. Yeah.
But in recent interviews, as she's been making rounds, just talking about her journey, especially with her getting status in the United States.
God has really played a big part in this, because honestly it's not been easy being denied 4 times. Yeah, it's been 4 times. And I've been able to keep going. I've not given up, because imagine going to the US Embassy, being denied 4 times and still have the energy to go back, and finally God did it.
She started this thing in 2022, and she tried in 2023 and didn't fall through. In 2024, early 2024, when we made that video, which is available on our members only YouTube. So if you want to watch what I said about the video, you'll go subscribe to YouTube membership, and you'll be able to access that video. So she tried again 2024, it didn't fall through. And yeah, right now as we speak, she's in the United States, and she'll be joining the prestigious Mississippi State University. And it's a big institution, and it's one of those institutions that need not somebody just tell you about it, because when you just search them out, you'll see their basketball program is one of the best, and they're top notch. So she came out and said she will be joining the Mississippi State University. They made that announcement, but it's the visa, getting that status, that was taking too long. So she said it's a big institution with a high education level, and the basketball is top notch. They compete in Division 1. So she will study her degree, and as well as sharpen her basketball skills. So there are a couple of things that I feel are not being addressed, and the mainstream media are conveniently not mentioning.
Finally, for you, Madina, you've already talked about what you've learnt and what you're going to work on. I want to know, what has been the highlight of the competition for you?
On the scoring areas and some parts of rebounding. Yeah.
That's been your highlight? And what about the girls on the team? What is it like being with them?
I like being with them because they keep me going with their advices and teamwork. Yeah.
I'm just grateful, and I feel that this is a great opportunity to use the God-given talent to get free college education, and I'll be able to gather skills from the college education. You know, the university games that we play here cannot be compared with the state college basketball. Yeah, I'm just happy that I'm going to meet great players, and I'm going to meet great coaches, and I'm ready to gain new skills from them. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited about this opportunity, because for sure I cannot say that I'm sure, because everything is planned by God, and I'm really praying that He keeps aligning my prayers with my dreams. And my biggest dream is to join professional one day and become a WNBA player.
If you look at Madina Okot's career, even after all these things happened, she was able to get her visa. You can see her basketball has yet to improve, because every single time you watch her play in 3x3 and 5x5, she's one of those players that she only gets by because of her size. And in this video, I'll also attempt to show you what I mean about that, because you can even say that she is the bright spot in Kenyan basketball because she was able to get that opportunity. But if you go dig into the details and you see what she really produces for a basketball team, you'll see her skill level and her talent has not changed and has been the same for years, because when she broke out and she came out in the scene in 2022, she has played the same way for 2 years now. And that was very concerning, because even last year when I made a post talking about she's yet to improve given this fact that she's been given so many opportunities, she has not been able to seize those opportunities and find ways that she can be able to do anything. So even in the Nike Hoop Summit, where that coach from the Mississippi State University, Sam Purcell, in the Nike Hoop Summit, she went there in 2023. She went there and played, and they happened in Portland, Oregon. And through even the stat sheet, if you look at the stat sheet, if you look at her contributions when she played in Team World, she didn't do much in a sample size. She only played 15 minutes, but she was not able to do too much because she only scored one basket. But you can see her as a raw prospect. And the people who were in charge of managing her career and just advising her and talking to her and coaching her did a very poor job at it.
And finally, do you want to give a message to your fans in your own language?
Pardon?
A message to your fans in your language.
Pardon?
Because you'd expect somebody to, in every single national team tournament, to keep improving, but she has been playing the same way. If you've been following this channel too long, you'll see that there's a pattern. You will see this is a player that has a tremendous upside when it comes to her God-given gifts. But when it comes to basketball IQ, skill, footwork, decision-making, those are the things she severely lacks in. And because of the way Kenyan basketball is very backward, and they don't look at molding stars to the future, they had the tendency of just taking her on and just, banking on her size and just banking on the little minimalistic skills that she had to get by. Because even the teams that took her on, like KPA, they never took her on to improve her. They only took her just to increase size and depth in their front court. And they never cared about even mentoring her. They never cared about even her education, because looking at her stint in KPA only used her for international tournaments, or not even international, but continental tournaments. Only continental tournaments alone. But if you look at the other teams, like ZTech, at least they gave her a scholarship and she was learning. She was not getting anything from KPA. Actually, KPA were using her just to propel their agenda to be able to win games. And it's funny that even when she made her rounds, she never mentioned how she played for KPA that much. And she kept mentioning ZTech a lot. I know ZTech Sparks, they gave her a scholarship and she's been playing there. But there's a lot that doesn't get mentioned like that. So even moving on to what she did in the national team level, I'm going to look at what she did in the FIBA Women's Afrobasket qualifiers for the national team that happened almost a year and a half ago. So she played against South Sudan, Egypt, South Sudan again, Rwanda, and Uganda. So in the first game, looking at that performance, as you can see on the screen, you can see this was one of her best performances. But if you look at how the tournament started, as they played against Uganda, Rwanda, South Sudan, Egypt, especially that Egypt game where they got eliminated, and not even eliminated, but they lost that game, and it pushed them from the number 1 spot to the number 3 spot. It showed you that this is not a player that you can consistently rely on, especially on big games, because Egypt, they are a big team. That's the place where a Sporting come from, and the Egyptian national team is very strong. So you could see her games against Uganda, and Uganda is not considered a strong team like that. But if you look at her game in Uganda, if you look back and look at her first game against Uganda, you can see the South Sudanese game, the last game of the tournament. You could see 18 points, 9 of 15 shooting, 0 for 1 from deep. I don't expect her to shoot a lot of threes, but her interior presence is something that is paramount. So this game, she had a very good game. In 26 minutes played, she had one of the best games I have seen. And looking at what she did in this game, 18 points, a strong double-double, 16 boards, you could see there was so much upside in her performance, and especially assisting the games and assisting the teams to win. This was the last game that happened, and she was able to ball out, but there was not much pressure then. That was not even a high-stakes game. But if you look at the game that she played against Uganda, 8 points, 3 of 8 shooting, and she had 20 boards. So you can see she wasn't a reliable scoring option like that, but her 20 rebounds really, really helped defensively. And Kenya got the win right there. Then in the Rwanda game, she did the same performance, but she didn't shoot as much, but she was able to grab 10 boards, 2 assists, struggling with 3 personal fouls. Then in that South Sudanese game, that's where her first double-double came in, but she really, really struggled with 10 turnovers. So you could see, even with all the opportunities she had, this was one of those that started, especially that kicked off 2023. So this is not a player that you can consistently rely on big games. But hopefully Mississippi State can be able to look at this and find a way to be able to fix her situation. So this is the Africa Women's Cup that happened late in 2022. So she played for the Kenya Ports Authority team, and these are her stats. So in the first game, she only scored 1 point in 10 boards. So you could see her post moves were non-existent. Even you can see that's the same thing that makes her struggle, because if she understood how to utilize her size and she understand how to utilize good footwork, she would have been able to be a double-double threat, and she would be that piece, the most efficient piece in the basketball team. But because she had very little and limited basketball IQ at the time, it was very difficult for her to be able to fit into a system. And even the coaches knew that, and that's the reason as to why they used her in more of a defensive role, and they're not looking to her as a meaningful or even a reliable scoring option. And that's the reason as to why she was able to grab a lot of boards. But if you look at the points that corresponded to what she did, not the greatest. Even with all the height advantage and her size advantage, she still does not understand how to move around at that size. You can even see this game when they played. She played 23 minutes, 1 point, 0 for 2, with 10 boards, 4 personal fouls, 3 turnovers. The game against Costa del Sol, you can look at what she did. 32 minutes played, 4 of 10 shooting, 10 points, 14 rebounds, 7 turnovers. Plus minus from minus 15. The first game, plus minus from minus 26. Not the most efficient piece, because she, at that point in that 2-game span, she had already turned over the ball 10 times. Then even in the game against NRG BBC, you could see 19 points, 9 boards. At least she limited her turnovers, but this game was the most easiest game because there was no resistance from the opposition. This game against the NSS was a very, very tough game for her. 9 points, 22 rebounds. She tried to limit her turnovers, but she still had 4 turnovers. But this game against A Sporting, which was the game that decided who was going to go to the semis, she failed at that. And in 37 minutes, despite playing heavy minutes, still not the most productive piece on the court. 10 points, 16 boards, 3 personal fouls, 2 turnovers, plus minus for minus 2. So she is not that good. Even the games against APR and the other games that she played for classifications didn't mean anything, because even with those stats that she put up, the KPA team already out of the tournament completely. So, I mean, she's not that of a good player that you can consistently rely on like that. She's not a player that impacted wins like that. Yes, on the defensive side of the ball, yes, she can. But the only time she's able to score if she's just rim running towards the basket. She has no post moves. She has no footwork. And she can't command the post. And she can't even ask or even make the ball at the post, because she doesn't know how to move at that size. And the tournaments and the competitions that have exposed her poor half-court offense are the 3x3 games. The 3x3 games, there's this one that happened in Japan. And I'm sure Mississippi State University basketball and Sam Purcell did their due diligence in looking at what she provided, because if you take the Nike Hoop Summit performance and you just take that on and say she's good, but if you don't look at her current activities, you're going to regret this signing if you didn't look at that. But if you look at all the thing holistically and look at the film and look at the stats and look at who this person is this somebody that can be able to understand anything? Is this somebody that can be able to understand high IQ basketball? Because the basketball played in Kenya is so different from the basketball played in the US. If you can't be able to adjust there, you're going to be used to do the dirty work for the other star players. So, and even in this case, even with her stints when she was playing for KPA used her to do the dirty work for the team. Grab rebounds, block shots, defend, just control the paint. But she was not a player that was looked at as a star because she was being used for that purpose alone, so that she can elevate other players' games. And that's the reason as to why you're seeing such performances. She's not producing eye-popping scoring numbers. Even that game she played against Equity in the quarterfinals, where KP and Equity, they have played too long together, so of course she was going to score 31. That was the only game that she was score 31. But in the games that really, really matter, the games that decide like the fate of the tournament, you could see she couldn't produce anything. That game those two games against A Sporting knew how to guard her. The stats that you're seeing on the screen are for the 2023 Africa Women's Basketball League. And you can see CNSS, she was able to score 20, 50% shooting from the field, 18 boards. She had the best performance to start the tournament. But if you looked at when the games continued to get progressively harder, especially that A Sporting game, which I was closely monitoring, she did virtually nothing. This is a player that doesn't understand that you need to adjust your game given a team that is better than you. So because the camp around her and the team around her are not telling her these things, that's the reason as to why she really, really struggled. And at least you could see at certain points you could see she was trying to get involved in the offense, but the team and the coach, because they knew her liabilities, they knew that they can't rely on her on that side of the ball, especially in late game situations. The games are close, so she just used to do the dirty work for the team. So the media will not tell you that, and the media will conveniently omit that for just to prop her up, try to create that narrative. Because what mainstream media do is they try to prop up a narrative. They try to show that she's a successful, accomplished player. But if you look at the film and if you look at the situations that she's been at, you can see that she's had very, very many poor games, dating back from what she played in the national team. The games that matter, she can't show up and she can't deliver. So you can't tell me that this is a player that has done wonders. But if you look at even her track record, some of the times that her skill set was being called upon and her skill set was being indicted, she laid an egg. How can you convince people that this is a player that she can rely on? So Mississippi State have a project and a raw prospect at hand. And how they decide to mold this player, how they decide to mold Madina, is up to them, because colleges and state universities, they are not, some of them can be patient with an athlete, some of them can lose their patience with an athlete. And remember, this is a scholarship. If she doesn't deliver and she's not able to even concentrate in her schoolwork, given her few interviews that I've seen, she's not the brightest bulb in the room. I know this might sound very harsh, but given what you want to, if you want to understand how somebody thinks or their education level, just look at how they speak and how they construct themselves, how they compose themselves. You'll just see that this is not a player that, education is a strong side. And majority of her education has been tied to her basketball, because the ZTEC Sparks gave her a scholarship so that she can be able to play basketball for the team and also study. So these universities, like the Mississippi State University, given the situation, they're going to look at this player. Can this player understand play calls? Can this player be able to absorb quickly? Can this player be able to understand concepts in lectures, because she's also going to go to school, and her schoolwork and her basketball are closely related. So if she's not able to perform well in class, the scholarship can be revoked, and there's no guaranteed success, because I've seen NTV, I've seen her doing her rounds. She's thankful for the opportunity to get status there, but there's no guaranteed success. So she also has to work. Right now, you can see she was working hard, but now she has to go and work hard and work smart, like 4 times what she was doing here in Kenya. So will she be able to improve? Will she be able to play for the meme league in the WNBA? We're not sure, because if she's able to do that, that means that she has been able to understand and learn. And given her stint when she plays in Kenyan basketball, the people around her have not been able to teach her how to absorb things well, because given all the tournaments, all the 3x3 tournaments, all the 5x5 tournaments for the national team and KPA, they have not taught her how to be able to improve her game, because the teams just pick her up and just say, you know what, we have her, we can use her just to, win games, but they're not focusing on improving the player. So hopefully she's able to improve her game with the Mississippi State University, because the facilities there in the States are better. They are better than better than the things that we have here in Kenya. So this is a very, very good opportunity for her. Hopefully she's able to pull through. I am very happy to see her leave the state and go to greener pastures, and also assist herself financially and her family, because she even mentioned her background. She wants to improve, and that is something that is a very, very commendable and noble act. And hopefully she's able to just improve her game from what we are used to seeing. Even when, let's say, for example, she comes back and plays for the national team, you can be able to see a new, brighter and better Madina Okot. And in this video, we just looked at what she did, and also you can even see the clips that have been flowing around through the video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. But all in all, I must say I'm very happy for this. Hopefully you can even get more ladies of this nature coming from the 254, because women's basketball in Kenya is very weak, and Madina was the only bright spot. Even given her flaws and liabilities, given how poorly her game has evolved in Kenyan basketball, hopefully a change of environment will enable her. And she's in the US alone, and the only family that she has in the Mississippi State fraternity. She doesn't have a family there, so she's the only one who got status. So yeah, hopefully she's able to pull through, and she can be able to even transition to even college, in the WNBA. So yeah, it is what it is. So if you guys like the video, leave your feedback down in the comment section. So if you want to catch the video that I made talking about how Madina Okot messed up her international basketball career, you can go to my YouTube membership, and you pay $24.99. That's about 3,200 Kenya shillings per month to be able to access that exclusive content. So yeah, man, with that being said, I'm out. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Yeah. I never knew that I was going to play basketball first. Nilikuwa volleyballer, but sikuwa enjoy kucheza volleyball than venye na enjoy basketball. So by the time I was being trained to play volleyball, it'll take time sana, but basketball, it only took like 1 month. Nilikuwa nishashika kila kitu mpaka mwenyewe na feel ile raha na utamu wa kucheza basketball. Yeah. Yes. Naweza sema maybe ni coach wangu wa kunifundisha basketball ambaye ni Onyango amenisaidia sana. Kwa sababu mimi pia sikuwa ifikiria kama naweza represent Kenya mahali kwa basketball. Kwa sababu nikifikiria mimi mwenyewe naona mimi bado niko mdogo sana kwa basketball. Nimejifundisha juzi na najipata tayari nacheza kwa national team. Haikuwa rahisi, lakini naweza sema ni Mungu. First of all, I was very, very happy kwa sababu naona si jambo la kawaida kwenda kurepresent Kenya kwa nje na kukutana na players wa countries kubwa kama vile Australia. Sikuwahi fikiria kitu kama hiyo inaweza happen kwa maisha yangu. So nimejifundisha vitu mingi sana kutoka kwao, especially position nacheza. Mimi naweza sema huko 5-on-5 kama power forward. Nimejifundisha vitu vingi like post moves na venye nafaa kudefend. Yeah.
Hi my people, naitwa Madina Okot. Tuko Dublin for World Cup Championship and tuna promise we are going to do our best. Na tunaomba sana Mungu atusaidie kwa kila jambo, atuongoze, and if all goes well, tunaenda kubeba hii.
Message to the fans in your own language.
Ni sisi Kenya, tunaomba support yenu na tunawahakikishia tutafika medal bracket.